I'm going to talk about Path of Exile.
Okay.
We are playing that on the Monday. So now I have finished Guild Wars forever.
Guild Wars 1 expansion.
Yeah, Guild Wars 1. No, Guild Wars 2 expansion previewing this weekend. I've seen lots of people in Slack talking about it.
Were you playing
Getting positive responses. No, I'm done with Guild Wars 2 for the time being. I mean, I'll probably pop along at some point in the future and have a look, because it's Ilona, and that was always the bit of Nightfall campaign in Guild Wars 1 was always the bit I liked the best, and this is Guild Wars 2's bit of that. So,
Was that a song?
No.
I Think We're Ilona.
Yes.
By Tiffany.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
That's a pop culture reference.
I know.
Isn't it? Do write in if you get that. So we're playing. We thought we wanted something a bit light and casual on the Monday, just some skeleton clicker, and of course Diablo. Diablo. Yeah, exactly. Freudian slip there. I was about to say Path of Exile is a very competent Diablo 2/3 clone. So
by clone you mean the
pretty
exact
much
copy.
Absolutely. The classes are called different things, but pretty much it plays the same. Yeah.
The serial numbers, you can see where they were.
It's a good game though, because Diablo's a good game as well. But Path of Exile, of course, being free, I have to say they're particularly unexploitative in their microtransactions and cash shop. There's almost nothing you need to buy.
That sounds terrible. How are they making money?
Well, you can buy extra bank tabs. I've got 4 bank tabs already, and I haven't even filled one yet. But mostly it's like flaming footsteps or custom different coloured particle effects for your abilities.
See, I don't care what people think of me, so I don't buy those.
Well, exactly. But then if you don't give people a reason to give you money, they won't. So it's a difficult line to follow, I suppose. We probably ought to pay them some money for a thing. They've recently launched the Fall of Oriath big expansion. It's their biggest content delivery ever. It adds a whole another 5 acts to the main story. I've never finished the first stuff yet, so it's like we're all in there on Monday going, is this new? Is this new? The loading screen was new, but we couldn't tell because we're so new to the basic gameplay, we can't tell if that's just something that was always there or whether this is something that they added during the patch. We are so noobs. So it looks like we're shaping up for a full group in there as well. We had 4 of us on Monday. So it was me, Torag and Multi, and Wish joined in, and then Teppo and Somnam were expressing interest in Slack as well. And I've enforced you must be a different character rule. There are 6 characters. There's very little customization as well. You just pick the character and that's who you are. You can't choose a face or head or anything for them. So they all look like they look.
Yes, another ruined bit for microtransactions.
It looks great in towns when you've got 8 or 9 different witches all standing around the vendor, all looking identical, and you're trying to work out who's you, who are you, and is any of you my friends? And what we're finding is that we're having bad enough, because they've gone for quite a sort of brooding, grimdark art style, in which the player characters look quite a lot like the monsters. And now I start to understand why in games like Guild Wars 2 and World of Warcraft, player characters look like these neon-clad, massive, shoulder pads and big coloured runes all over them and trails and particle effects, because it's quite difficult in Path of Exile to tell the difference between Torag and a monster, I'm finding, particularly when Torag comes wandering into view with like 4 or 5 zombies following him, and I'm going, we're being followed by zombies, click click click, nothing happening. Oh yes, you're a summoner, aren't you?
I would say that I've always found it hard.
got the special ability that summons a load of zombies from corpses and they fight for you, and I can't tell the difference between them and the enemies. So I've decided that it's difficult enough telling the difference between player characters and monsters, let alone 2 player characters who look identical. So I've made everyone pick a different class. I've gone with the Marauder, which is the strength-based giant bruiser type with the big weapon. I'm going to try and specialise that down into war cries, I think. When you open up the skill tree in Path of Exile, you're presented with this, it's like in the end of 2001 where he goes in the monolith. It's just like this great. It looks like an London Underground map invented by a madman who likes brass. And that's the same skill tree for everyone and every class, and you sort of work your way along the nodes, spending points and unlocking different bits that go off. And so you have to look for some screenshots of it. You've got to see it to believe it. Quite intimidating. But so I've gone down all the red stuff, and we got the Witch there. There's Ranger. Those are all like the pure classes based on dexterity, intelligence, and strength. And then there's hybrid classes. I think there's a Shadows, like an assassin, a Templar bloke, sort of crusader-y fella, and who's the other one? I've forgotten now. There's another one.
Probably is.
The other one. Anyway, yes. So
Charles Brandreth.
Duelist.
Like I said, Charles
Brandreth, yes. So that's good. We're going to have a full party of 6, which is the game's limit, and one of each class. That'll be interesting. The one of each class is good because it means that the loot drops tend to be quite aimed at specific stat breakdowns.
No one's fighting.
You don't have to fight over loot particularly, no, because the stat breakdowns mean that each stuff is very obviously aimed at particular classes, so that'll be good. And I think apparently it does scale according to one of the loading screens I checked earlier. We couldn't tell. It was just insane. And there's a whole load of stuff, and we couldn't work out if it was some League thing. That's the big thing. Path of Exile, when you create a new character, you can choose to be in a league or a standard character. And there's two, I think there's a hardcore league and a normal league and a standard character. Standard character is what you'd expect. The league is a kind of time-limited thing where there are extra bonus events. And basically you start a character at the beginning of the league and you play until the end of the league, at which point your character drops over into the standard character.
Okay.
And I guess the point of the league is replayability. If you're really into the game and really good at it, you can play in such a way that when a new league starts, start a new character and off you go. See how far you can get in that league. Bonus loot, which you can then transfer over as a standard character when you come out of it all. But the problem is league characters are not allowed to group with standard characters because that's some kind of cheating, I guess. Which meant that about two, maybe three people who've joined us so far have had to start again because they had the wrong league and stuff. We don't know what's going on. There was some zone where there was some thing with some hands coming up and big with purple smoke, and if you touch the hand out of the floor, a ring appears and monsters start running in and showering you with loot, and then the ring goes back out again. I don't know what's going. It's a game that's not basically. It's like they've studied very basic gamer psychology and thought, what are gamers like? Gamers like loot. Let's give them lots and lots and lots of loot until they're sick of loot. And then they won't stop complaining. Yes, I mean, you look at the screen and already it's standard practice, just ignore anything with a white name. And we're starting to ignore stuff with blue names now as well because there's just too much loot. It's like... I just, I could do with a bit less treasure, It's a stupid thing to complain about, but there you go. But yeah, it's very accessible, very easy going. It beats on Guild Wars in a way, because if someone drops out through a communication loss, because it's all instance and hub, and the instance only contains you and your group. But if someone drops off, all you need to do is one of the rest of you uses the town portal scroll, which goes, opens a big blue circle, and then they just connect at the nearest town, jump through that portal and straight back with you. If that were Guild Wars, they'd have to just cool their heels in the town for the next 20 minutes until we'd finished doing the zone, come back out for them. So already more robust than that. So yeah, and I don't think I've ever finished Path of Exile. I've got maybe one or two world maps in, Act 3, I don't know, yeah. So we'll see. We spent about 2 weeks getting to the same point that it took Teppo 45 minutes to catch up to. So we're not a high-achieving, fast-moving group, but we like to take in the surroundings as we go. It's it's good. I'm really enjoying it. Just really straightforward. Click, click, click monsters. Use your special abilities. Hooray! Stuff going on. Lots of treasure. So it's a simple kind of lightweight game, which I find myself tending to lately these days. A bit like you were saying earlier. It's not a deep game, but it's satisfying in its way.